Hershey Park is one of the best coaster lineups in the United States. From an insane launch coaster like Stormrunner to a smooth and graceful hypercoaster like Pandemonium, they seem to have it all. However, amongst our coaster lineup, one particular ride stands out for being unlike anything else in the world. That coaster is Skyrush. Skyrush is the only Intamin wing-seated hypercoaster and might just be the most love it or hate it ride in the world. While some praise it for its insane ejector airtime and bone-crushing positive G-forces, others find it way too painful to enjoy and have nicknamed it Thigh Crush. In this review, I'll be going over the ride's layout and rating the coaster out of 10. But before I get into this review, I'd like to ask you to all consider subscribing. I'm still a very new channel on YouTube, and any advice would also be appreciated in the comments below. Anyways, to start off, let's go over some of the ride statistics. Skyrush stands at a total height of 213 feet tall and reaches speeds up to 75 miles per hour. Skyrush also has over 3,500 feet of track and a drop-to-break ride time of about 41 seconds. Now to get into the ride experience. You start off by boarding one of the two 8-row trains, which both feature 4-cross seating with wing seats on either side that hang off the track. After having your lap bar checked, you will then dispatch out of the station. And now this is where the fun begins. Skyrush absolutely yanks you out of the station. This may catch first-time riders off guard as it is unlike anything else on a coaster. While most rides give you a lot of time to take in the view and rethink your decisions, Skyrush does not. In under 15 seconds, you're already cresting a 200-foot drop. And oh my god, what a drop this is. From an off-ride perspective, it really does not look like anything overly special, but that is far from the truth. It starts off with giving some strong sustained ejector airtime, which would already be great on its own, but then right around when you hit the steepest moment of 85 degrees, you get an extra pop of what seems like the strongest airtime in the world. If I'm being completely honest, words just cannot describe this moment, and you have to experience it on your own to understand its true insanity. While pulling out of the drop, Skyrush then begins to bank and turn towards the right-hand side, and this moment absolutely bombards you with G-force and laterals. This is almost guaranteed to make your vision go gray, and if you're not holding onto restraint, be prepared to be violently pushed to your left. The ride then rises into its first ejector airtime hill. This hill gives 2 to 3 seconds of insane ejector airtime, and it almost feels unsafe. The coaster then speeds into a low-to-the-ground left-hand turn, which, just like the bottom of the first drop, bombards you with even more gray-out positive G-forces. The coaster then flies into its second ejector airtime hill, which is located directly under the first hill, giving a cool head chopper sensation while experiencing even more sustained ejector airtime. After the second ejector hill, Skyrush enters a right-hand turn, which, although it does not give the crazy gray-out forces like the previous turns, it is still a very intense moment. Skyrush then rises into its Stangle Dive. The Stangle Dive reaches a banking of over 90 degrees before violently snapping out of it, which gives a strong moment of laterals. It almost feels as if it's trying to throw you into the creek which Skyrush is located over. After the Stangle Dive, Skyrush traverses another right-hand turn, which gives a strong moment of laterals when entering it. Skyrush then whips through one of my personal favorite moments of the ride, the S-Hill. This element starts off like it's turning into an airtime hill, but then once it reaches the crest of the hill, it violently switches directions, bombarding you with another moment of ejector airtime and insane lateral forces. After the S-Hill, Skyrush then rises up into its final moment of ejector airtime. The hill is a little weaker than the previous hills, but is still able to pack a punch of its own. After the ejector hill, Skyrush goes into a left-hand turn before popping into the brake runs, and just like that, the ride is over. You have just experienced 41 seconds of non-stop pure insanity. Although the ride may be a little bit on the shorter side, with all that it's able to accomplish in such a short period of time, it more than makes up for it. Skyrush is for sure to leave you speechless on the brake run, however there's one major flaw of the coaster: the restraints. This one flaw is so serious that it's enough to completely ruin some people's experience on the ride. The ride's lap bar features very little padding and contacts you only on a small area of your thighs. Since the restraint is so small, all the pressure goes into one spot on your leg, which leads to a very painful ride experience. The restraints, however, wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for one big problem. The restraints tighten as the ride goes on due to the insane positive G-forces. This means that even if you are able to have some room while leaving the station, the restraint automatically lowers and kills your thighs as the ride goes on. If I'm being completely honest, the restraints do not personally affect me very much, but I know many people who just cannot enjoy the ride due to the pain. Now it's time for Rush's final score. I give Skyrush a score of 9.5 out of 10. While the coaster gives one of the most insane and intense ride experiences in the world, I simply cannot give it a perfect 10 due to the restraints. Skyrush is currently the best coaster I've ever experienced and will probably always hold a spot within my top 10. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and since you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing. Also, if you have any other coasters that you want me to review, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.